Hello, 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 everybody. You're live. All right. So, for those of you who are new to our live Q&A sessions, we go in this order. First is the questions that are emailed from Mola9 Premium account holders over to us. Second is the questions that are asked in our Mola9 forums, which are currently on Telegram. And third is the questions that are asked in this chat. You have to be a subscriber to the channel in order to ask questions in this chat. So if you are not currently subscribed, this prevents spam and people trying to sell other stuff in the side. If you're not currently subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It will not only allow you to ask questions in the chat, it'll also allow you to get notifications the next time we have a live Q&A session. All right, so let's dive in. It's been a while since we've done a live Q&A. Sorry for that. We had a few things we had to hash out at Mola9. There are a lot of new features at Mola9. Excited to have brought those to you guys. Hope you're loving them. Okay, so let's dive in. First with the email questions. Where are they? All right, there are just a couple over here. See. Okay. The first, there was an advertisement. There was an email sent out yesterday that was telling you about the Millionaire Accelerator that we have launching on September 28th, so just a few days from now. And we do use MailChimp as our provider. Yesterday, for some reason, there was an issue with one of the MailChimp servers. So you were not able to click the link in the email. I do apologize for that, but and I do thank you for everybody who reported that bug. We can't fix bugs if you don't report them to us and let us know what you're seeing. But this is not a bug that we could fix. This is something that had to be fixed by MailChimp on their servers. So if you experienced this bug yesterday where you tried to click that button in the email to learn more about the Millionaire Accelerator, but you got an error message, today supposedly their servers are back up. So you should be able to go in, open up that email, and click that button. For those of you who are not on our email list yet, I'm going to give this to you right now. There we go. All right, so in the chat, you have all of, right here, we are hyper segmented with our emails. I don't like to send emails to people that they don't want to see. So if you click that button, you'll notice there are a lot of different types of emails that you can opt into. You have to opt in to get the reminders via email when we have our next upcoming live Q&A. You have to opt in to get the recap after a live Q&A session. You have to opt in to get a monthly recap of everything that's new to Mola9. So those are just a few of the things that you can choose to start seeing in your inbox after you go here and select what you want to see. Next. What did the Millionaire Accelerator is the other one you needed the link to. All right, so just in case MailChimp is not working, let's do this. So I wrestled for a long time about whether or not to actually do this because it is one of the biggest things that, and it's the keystone offer for MD9. This is the thing that I kept tucked away, secret, not sharing it for a long time. And now we're bringing it to you as a program this year. I feel like the Mola9 community is ready for this. This is something that we will have fun doing together. We are going to spend if you join the Millionaire Accelerator, we are going to go through the program that I've put other companies through. If you see on the MD9 case studies page, that other companies have gone through when you're wondering what did they go through to go from being this founder who didn't really know what they were doing to this marketing like maven, brilliant marketer, strategist who has an amazing company that's doing really well. Some of people went on to launch other companies after that because of what they learned when we worked together. So originally, that was a one-to-one thing. You had to schedule one-on-one time with me, and we would go through it, just the two of us. Now we are doing, oh no, it's been muted the entire time. Have I been muted the entire time? Oh, that would be unfortunate. All right, let's see. I hope not. Okay, now we have the Millionaire Accelerator. So this is something that, for if you've been following MD9, this is something I just did one-to-one. If you go look at the case studies section on MD9, when the women are talking about how this was the first venture that they launched, I worked with them on it, and then they went on to launch other ventures afterwards. This, you will be learning what they learned. You'll everyone who's done this, where we've gone through this together, they've come in as this founder who's not quite sure. They have like a semi good idea. They're not sure where to go with it, how to grow it. They have lots of questions. They lack the confidence, the drive to be able to push it to being this amazing company. So we worked together one-on-one, brought it to what it needed to be. It's a very simple process if you know the process. We worked together to get this all sorted out, answer all their questions, and many of them became these brilliant marketers as a result. They learned all these amazing tactics. They went on to implement them with their own companies. And a few of them actually are now, multiple companies later, they now have an umbrella of companies below them, which is, I'm very proud of that they've become these amazing marketers themselves. I think it's exciting. But for a while, we were wrestling with whether or not to share this with you, and to make this into a program or to keep it as the keystone offer at MD9. And this year we are launching it as a program. Multiple people can enroll. Instead of paying for crazy amounts for a 3-day session or a 1-day session, whatnot, you are getting the entire program for a fraction of that. Let's see. So I just sent you the link to it. You can go over, check it out. It will be a lot of fun. And even more fun than that is after you graduate from that, there are exclusive events that you get to go to, once you've hit that millionaire milestone. All right, next question. Okay. Oh, okay. So there were questions about what's included with Molo9, different layers, because there are a lot of different layers now when you go into Molo9. If you go to the Molo9 menu, you'll now see, originally we had one core offering, and it was the Molo9 Strategist. So you would go in, put in, how did they start multiple companies? Is that something they learned in your program? Okay, no. What they learned with me is they learned how to grow that idea into a company. There are certain frameworks that apply to, like, I don't know, 80, 90% of businesses. And they took those frameworks, once they learned them from me and learned how to use them in one business, they were able to take those same frameworks and apply them to future businesses. What is marketing? What is high performance marketing? All it really is effective communication. And when you simplify it to, this is what high performance marketing is. It's effective communication that helps people to understand the true value you're bringing and why it is worth it for them to take that step with you now. Once you understand the key principles, the game is yours. Whatever company you want to launch is yours. Of course, I do have, I call it the Total Founder Freedom Framework. We use that to kind of help you flesh out your business ideas, because there are some business ideas that are just not profitable. So you take this idea and you're like, I want to, I don't know, I want to sell heat transfer vinyl t-shirts. Okay, but that makes you a slave to your business because every single day you're having to go in and make the shirts. Um, so I do use the Total Founder Freedom Framework to help you understand how you could take your love of making heat transfer vinyl t-shirts and turn that into a business that sells on autopilot, such as you having all of the marketing acumen, the marketing skills to be able to create that business, promote the product, but you have somebody else fulfilling the orders for you. All right, that's one example. If you have another more specific example that you want to ask about, you could drop it in. But there are a lot of really good books out there by serial entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship used to be the dream, and now serial entrepreneurship or owning multiple businesses is the dream. Okay. Are the frameworks provided in Molo 9 or just the Millionaire Program? To keep things fair for now, they're just going to be given to those attending the Millionaire Program. Once they've had a chance to implement them, some of these frameworks may be added to Molo 9. We do have to balance, keep in mind, if I put my entire brain on Molo 9, and when I did try to do this in the past, people said there was way too much content. They couldn't figure out how to navigate their way around it, and they felt like they were over flooded by information. So one of the reasons that we now have courses, software, programs is because the information does need to be organized and presented in a way that benefits you. And if I just dump thousands and thousands of pages of information on you, that doesn't benefit you because then you have to sort through and organize it all and figure out the order. So there are some frameworks that we could add to Molo 9, but there are other frameworks that you will not find beneficial if you do not look at them and receive them within the context of the programs we put together. All right. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I will jump over to big questions around, let's see. Okay. I'm going to walk you through the new menu very quickly. So we have I added, one of the big things I added at the start of this summer was the Molo 9 specialists. It is right above the strategist. So the strategist was our first core offering. That was we had the playbooks, then we had the strategist was the first software element that Molo 9 had. Then a lot of you came in, you asked to be able to take my project templates, and rather than viewing them as pieces in a recommendation, customized recommendation, you wanted to view the whole project roadmap. So that's when we made the account managers and the agency owners. So agency owners can create and edit the client projects. They're the ones, this is their baby. They make sure every project that goes before the clients, they're ready. Then you have the account managers. They can view the client projects. They can participate in them, but they are not creating them. Then we added specialists. So the specialists are, some of you know this, in the spring, I worked with this company. They were supposed to bring me brilliant new assistants from different countries, mainly the Asia Pacific region. And I had one, her job was to help me fix up the branding course. Well, the branding course teaches you how to complete a $10,000 branding project. Now, the problem with this is once she completed the course, she quit. And then she went on to sell her services completing this branding project. Obviously, I was very upset because I had just paid her salary for her to learn something and then leave. So some of you had complained about something similar happening when you gave your employees access to the strategist. They would take everything and then run. So that's why we came up with the specialist. So what the specialist is, it's basically the bare minimum account. in Molo9. I think it's like $3 a month. And it basically gives them the ability to, it's an account you create for them. You can connect them to your projects in the Molo9 project portal, and then they can edit the projects. They can work on those projects. And if you want them to take specific Molo9 courses, they can. But the specialist has a highly, highly filtered access to Molo9. They cannot see 99% of the platform without you adding it to their account. This is simply there because there was an issue with employee retention when we gave employees access to too much information. Yeah. All right. No. Okay, good. So did I answer your question? Oh, next thing we have up is the affiliate arena. We just started working with a new company on this that is supposed to be able to integrate with everything we have built so far. There were a few bugs in the beginning. Everything should be sorted out now. If for any reason you log in and when you go to this page, you don't see the tracking tables and you don't see the option to create links to get your affiliate link and things like that, and to edit your affiliate slugs, so the ID that's at the back of your affiliate links. If you don't see that, let the support team know, because that means there's an issue. And you don't just say, hey, I can't see this. Tell them which country you're in, which browser you're using, and if you're on mobile or on desktop, because then we send that error report over to the company that we're working with so they can tell us how this needs to be fixed. All right. Okay. Next, so I answered the question about the upgrades, the oh, okay. Some of you have asked about tutorials. As we just discussed, Molo9 can be information overload because there's a lot of information here. So we do have a lot of how-tos. Let me get them for you. Okay. If you go over to YouTube, so if you go over here, the first two playlists, you'll see the workshops, and the AMAs, or Ask Me Anything, marketing related, startup related. And then you also, underneath of that, you have the product walkthrough. So, and then you have how to use Molo9. We try to keep these as up to date as possible, but keep in mind that if you go to Molo9, you will see a red feedback button on the side of every page. It matches my lipstick. That red feedback button, when you click on it, you highlight any element on any page in Molo9, and you guys give us feedback like, hey, I was working on this for a customer, this doesn't make sense. Or, hey, this button is here, it'd be great if it could be here and this color, because when I talk to my employees, they keep missing it. Or, hey, I need more tasks here, whatever feedback you give us with that red button. Fridays, usually Fridays, sometimes other days, mostly Fridays, I take my lunch to the desk, sit down, and I read through the feedback that you guys give, and then I go in and I fix it in Molo9. There are also, on occasion, we use Hotjar. They do blind randomized recordings. So we cannot see who you are. We can see the region of the world that you're in or the country that you're in. And that's about it. And we could see if you're on a Mac or a PC and the browser you're using, but we can't see who you are. We can just see, okay, somebody in Canada was using was on Molo 9 using Chrome on a Mac, and they encountered this bug. So we also watch those, not as often as the feedback button, because the feedback button, you guys are more clear with your feedback. All right, so I think that's all of the like Molo 9 upgrade related questions. Unless you throw any more into Telegram, I'm going to Andy. What are the latest marketing trends? Okay, yes, in 5 minutes or less. Okay, latest marketing trends. It'd be helpful if you could be more specific. Like, what are the latest trends when it comes to email marketing, social media marketing, websites, web design? I can tell you the two that I've been getting into lately, and you've probably seen them in the design of Molo 9. Okay, in your millionaire program, how long does it take to become a millionaire? Good question. Let's see. Yeah, I did count for holidays, so I don't know this off the top of my head. Okay, so what it is we have the idea. Sorry, Andy, I'll get back to your question in a second. We have idea validation. We do that. You get 4 weeks. Keep in mind, we're opening this up to 100 people. Some of you will be working on this full time. Some of you will be working on this while juggling a side job. So our plan here is to break in the first session to break you guys into 2 groups. So that those of you who are working on this full time, we can go through this process really fast. We can do the idea validation probably in a week instead of 4 weeks. We are trying to accommodate 2 different types of groups though. So let me, let's see, idea validation, 1 week, launch to the public. We do it in 6 workshops. Give yourself, if this is your first time doing this, you want to give yourself at least 2 weeks to launch to the public, and then 1 week to debug. So shortest time frame is now you're at 4 weeks. Automating sales, we allotted that for 4 weeks. So if you're in the one group, you're at 14 weeks by automating sales. If you want to be in the super speed group, I'd say that's another 3 weeks of automating sales, because we have 1 week of building, 1 week of testing, 1 week of debugging, iterating, perfecting. So no, automating sales, realistically, you need 4 weeks. Unless you're a computer programmer. Give yourself time to build the tech right the first time around. So we'd put you at, fast group would be at week number 8, slow group would be at week number 14. Building your personal brand, oh, this is easy. Okay, so if you're in the super speed group, you could probably get this done and started and kicked off in 2 weeks, but you'd need another 2 weeks before you see it picking up with more people adopting it. So give yourself the 12 weeks. And the slower group would be at what, week 18. And then creating your next offer. So when you acquire a customer, people who have not had to do this for a business they built from scratch before, they think it's super easy. They're really condescending. Then they launch to the public. They're like, holy cow, this is a lot harder than I thought. But you get those customers, and you get those customers that you love to work with. And example, this is what I launched for those people at Molo 9 that I love to work with. I didn't want to share this information. It's been like the most covert thing held close to my vest. But then I realized, you know what? There are a lot of really fun people at Molo 9 using Molo 9. They're in the Molo 9 community, and it would be awesome to once a year, like all go skiing together and then talk about their businesses. So what could we do to make that achievable for them? Well, we probably have to get them to the point where they've reached the millionaire status. So how can we get them to millionaire status? Okay, so this is the one that I can do easily now. The next program is the Marketing Millionaire for those who want to turn their marketing agency into this powerhouse. So that's kind of how we came out with this. And that's basically what we would be doing in your bonus phase, which is creating your next offer. It's like, okay, you launched to the public, you found people you love working with. What else could you offer them that would be awesome? Just like an amazing time you guys would both have together. You're going to deliver some massive value to them, but have a lot of fun with them in the process, because you want to build a business that you enjoy. This is your life. You spend what? More than half your living time on your business. You want to enjoy it. So the bonus phase, creating your next offer, give yourself 4 weeks for that. You want to have that time to just have fun with building that, have fun working with your customers that you love working with, that love working with you, that are your dream customer. You want to have that time to build something they love and get it to them. So that would put you at what? We said 8, 12. So this would put you at 16 weeks if you're in the fast group, and it would put you at 18, 22 weeks if you're in the slower group. So, and that's not including breaks for holidays, because I know some of you are not only juggling your own client projects, but you're also juggling families and school schedules and everything else. So we have buffered out for that. It is more important to me that you get the time to work on this than we adhering to a specific deadline that cuts you off because we're starting a new program, a new cohort, January, whatever. That's why we just have the workshops right now listed out without the dates, because the idea here and the priority here is to get you guys across the finish line. So that's why we don't have dates on this one. In the future, we may, once we've gotten into a good cadence, we may put dates down for what we found worked best in the past. But again, priority here is getting you to the point where next year we're all partying together at some sort of awesome tech conference. You guys are succeeding. We're all having fun. Everyone's succeeding. Does that answer? You have any other questions about this? What is the time commitment per week for the program? 10 hours per week? No, that completely depends on what you're launching. Completely depends on what you're launching. For example, okay. I don't know if you know about Alibaba, but you can get if you decide to launch a product business, we can order your product from Alibaba and have it here. I will teach you my negotiating strategies there. People usually call me a comedian. The goal is to get them laughing and working with you. But it takes a certain amount of time for them to get the product to you. So your time commitment is going to fluctuate based on the business that you decide to launch. If it's a software company where you're having to write all the code from scratch, you're obviously going to spend significantly more time on your business than somebody who decides that they're going to use a Shopify store, stay up one night to negotiate during Beijing daytime hours, and then or Zhengzhou, during the Asia Pacific regions negotiating hours. You stay up one night, you negotiate, you get your product, it comes, you're happy. So there's obviously going to be a very, very different time commitment requirement depending on what type of business you decide to launch. Keep in mind that, let's see, idea validation and launch to the public, those are the two most time-intensive periods. So that's going to be where, yes, we have a founder freedom framework that we want to use to build out your business, but you will be doing some heavy lifting the first couple weeks to get your airplane to take flight. Automating sales, building your personal brand, creating your next offer. Some of you are coming from IE Business School. You graduated from you got a master's in business. So for you, this entire program, the time commitment will be a lot less because you already have the contacts, you already know who you're going to outsource things to, or you already know how to build the things that you're going to need, so you don't need to outsource. You guys will spend a lot less time on being able to get to the finish line than those who have never launched a business before. They've only ever worked as an employee in a very small role in a very big company. For people like that, they'll be learning a lot of this from scratch, which is also why we plan to take all of you and break you down into cohorts based on prior achievements. I expect some of you will be in one group, switching to the other group, as you figure out where you fit within the community, the cohort that's coming in. I would like to do a course and consulting coaching program. Course, consulting, and coaching. Okay, that's actually pretty fast. That's pretty fast. Simply because the course, consulting, coaching, that tech is already out there for you. Course, Udemy. How long is it going to take you to build the course? That's going to be your biggest time commitment. Consulting and coaching on Udemy, then you have people hyperlink to your business where they can hire you as a consultant coach. That's a pretty easy one to get off the ground. And then if you want to do what I did, because I found that Udemy is great for specific types of coaches. It's not the best for other types of coaches. So it depends on which industry you're in. For me personally, I did not find that it did nearly as well as having my own courses on Molo9. So that's why I took them off of there. But that did require me to learn quite a bit more tech. So that's where your time commitments are going to vary. All right. Okay, sorry. Let me jump back to Andy's question about marketing trends. Oh, wait, sorry. Okay. So Udemy is the traffic source. Why is it not letting me see your full question? Hold on, it's not letting me see the full question. Udemy is one example. There's so many others out there. That getting to the traffic sources dives into building your personal brand. That's the top of funnel marketing. So it's where are you getting your leads from and where are you bringing them in from, where are you bringing them to? Then you have your micro funnel, you have things like that. So yeah, Udemy can be one traffic source. There are 125 different traffic sources, customer acquisition channels out there right now. It will take us more than 5 minutes to go through all those. You actually have access to them in Molo9. Let's see. Okay, so if you go to Molo9 and you go to strategist, under strategist, you see choose a goal, and you see acquisition channels. Click acquisition channels. That'll show you all the traffic sources. Now, yeah, no worries. Now the difference between a novice marketer and somebody who gets high performance results will be knowing how to choose which of those traffic sources is worth investing in. Because if you're thinking, oh, I'll just put $1,000 worth of ads into this traffic source and see what happens. Well, do you have $125,000 to spend just guessing? There are specific processes you can use to quickly figure out exactly which traffic sources will be best for you and which ones would be best for another type of business in a different industry or different niche. All right, so back to Andy's question. Latest marketing trends. Okay, so the thing that I've personally been getting into and loving lately is making websites and making emails into full-on like sensory experiences. So there's an amazing thing, like, when you talk to somebody about drinking a coffee, you say, "Oh, let's go grab coffee." Okay, but if you're advertising that coffee, you're not going to talk about drinking the coffee. You're going to talk about the smells, the aroma, the feeling. And that's something that I've been getting into a lot lately is when somebody comes to a website, they're not just looking at a bunch of text on a page. They're experiencing or imagining or envisioning things. They go through an emotional experience as they read through the website or the email. That's where I've been having a lot of fun and noticed a lot. I've noticed good results with that lately. Probably simply because so few people invest time and energy into doing that. They're so tired by the time they finish creating something or creating a course or building a website that they don't take time to go through it and say, is this an amazing experience? Is this a website where I'd go to this page and feel like I'm going to achieve XYZ, or I'd be excited to do this or that? Um, then you have the biggest thing, which I'm always, 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 always preaching for marketing trends, is being an early adopter to social media channels. So let me share this with you because I used to share this a lot. Um, okay. I used to share this a lot. Uh, um, and this is this explains to you exactly how social media platforms grow. That would probably yeah. If I could buy and own any business right now, it'd probably be a social media platform. They are a lot of fun to grow. The reason I'm not launching one is because uh, I I would only do it with like a team of five. I would not do it as a one woman show. So, um, anyways, marketing trends. The biggest thing you have right now with the acquisition of Elon Musk acquiring Twitter, changing it to X, then you had Threads pop up, and then Threads came down, and then you have Blue Sky making a play for getting people that are fleeing from Twitter. With social media platforms, if you are an early adopter, if you are one of the first people on there, what do they do to keep you on that platform? Social media channels need content. They need fresh, relevant content. So how do they motivate you as the user to make fresh, relevant content? They have fake bots that they use that create likes, comments, all sorts of things, so that when you go onto the platform, you see that you're getting all these positive responses to your content. Unfortunately and ironically, this has created a lot of crazy people online who think they have good ideas, because they put up their crazy ideas. Who in the beginning, these crazy ideas were rejected by everybody, and then the fake accounts loved the crazy ideas, so they kept going with them. But then you also have a lot of people who have reached influencer status this way because they post their video of them dancing with a new product. Um, 30 bots go and like that post, and then friends log on and say, 30 other people liked this person's post, so I should be liking it too. So if they make it big one day, they remember I was liking and commenting and supporting their stuff from the beginning. Um, so that's kind of how you see that uh, play out. Yeah, it is funny. It's funny once you know what's happening. When you don't know what's happening, it's not so funny. Like in the case of Taylor Swift, where she had all those robots commenting with the snakes, and she thought it was real people commenting things. That was not so funny. That was actually could have ended very badly. Fortunately, she had enough people around protecting her mental health. But when you are in the case of somebody who's posting like a few products and then you're like, ah, I got all my friends and family to buy it because 30 robots liked the post first, then it's funny. Um, all right, so let's see what else. What other questions do you guys have? Okay. Give me 1 second. Now I'm going to pull up the questions. You guys ask like 60,000 questions on Quora. So we answered everything in the chat. We answered everything here. Let me go to Quora. Okay, when you guys ask questions on Quora, I stopped answering questions there a very long time ago. I just answer them here. So you could get them answered so much faster if you would just ask them in this box or in Telegram. What do you believe is the secret to successful co-founder dynamics and long-term partnerships? Trust. And you have to laugh together. You have to laugh together. You will experience the craziest things. When Molo9 first launched, I had people verbally abusing my chat support team, which resulted in one of them calling me up at 4 a.m. because it's 10 a.m. in London or 9 a.m. in London, calling me up crying because people were sending really nasty emails to support. So what I had to do was make a broad announcement that if you verbally abused the chat support team, we would remove your email from receiving any future deals. And we would also ban you from any community things such as the Millionaire Accelerator, because those are designed for people we like working with, people we want to see succeed, people we want to have fun with. I don't exactly see, like in the dream world, skiing and going to tech conferences with somebody who made my employees cry. But now we laugh at it. But at the time, I was just like, you've got to be joking. Like, so you have to have somebody, you have to work with somebody that you can laugh with when all these crazy things happen. You're just like, oh my God, did that really just happen? Sorry, the lights in here are really hot, so I have to move the air conditioning unit. Okay, you have to have somebody you can laugh with. You have to have somebody you can trust, that if you hand something to them and they say they're going to take care of it, that they're going to take care of it. But you also have to work with somebody that you can communicate your limits to. So if you say, "Hey, I need help with this," and they say, "I'm sorry, I don't have the bandwidth right now," you have to accept that, because otherwise, if you argue with them until they agree to do it, there's going to be a pile of things they can't do that they agree to just because they wanted to avoid an argument. What groundbreaking strategies? Hold on, what time are we at? Okay. What groundbreaking strategies can I immediately implement to skyrocket my business's growth, even in today's ever-changing market? Okay. With that, you're just gonna go to the strategist. Okay. There you go. Oh, here. You start here. I literally fed you guys the answers. It cannot be any easier than that. You click start here. You do what it tells you. And the reason I'm giving you this instead of answering the question is because, I don't know your industry. I don't know your business model. I don't know which phase you're at. There are a lot of questions in there. Okay. What groundbreaking strategies can I immediately implement? Okay, next. What's the minimum budget required on a Facebook campaign to run an e-commerce store in the US and Canada market? Why are you going to Facebook? That's my question. Why are you going to Facebook with your ads? Your product might be able to get much better results on Reddit, might be able to get much better results sending a freebie to an influencer, might be able to get much better results. Here's an example. If you okay, the person who's making these into TikTok videos is going to kill me if I do that. So let me just reread the question and then answer the question. What's the minimum budget required on a Facebook campaign to run an e-commerce store in the US and Canada market. All right. So one, get off Facebook. They have no love for you. It's like that mean girl in high school who claimed she wanted to be your friend, took all of your stuff, broke it, and then gave it back. No, just no. Set boundaries, healthy boundaries. Now, Reddit. You have subreddits. They literally are filled with your niche market. You have niche blogs. I would go there. I would go to niche forums. The other one, I would go to Udemy. So I'm playing with a paintbrush right now. I'm about to tell you why. If I were selling paintbrush, not this one, it's heavily used, but if I were selling paintbrushes, or if I were selling glasses, no, stay with paintbrushes and pens. If I were selling luxury pens, you know what I would do? I would go to Udemy. I would look at the top rated teachers that are teaching painting courses or calligraphy courses on Udemy. And then I would say to them, hey, I see that you're amazing in this field. I would love to partner with you. This is my company. Please let me know if you would be interested in working together. All you would have to do is use my brushes and recommend them to your students. That's it. Very easy. You'd get 20% commission. If you're making an intro offer, I'd say you get 10% commission and expect them to come back with a counter offer around 30%, and then you land at 20%. Do not start with offering the maximum that you can do, because then they're going to want to if they want a counter offer, you're in trouble. All right. So that's what I would do. I would find influencers in the form of teachers, because teachers are people we trust. And getting influencers like the Kardashians or Taylor Swift or who else. Beyonce is expensive. So I would go with the influencers in your community, your local art teacher at your local art teaching course or whatever it is. Okay. If I wanted to start my own message board, how do I do it? Step 1, create a WordPress site. Step 2, install BuddyPress. How does social network advertising help to grow your business? Really? Okay, so advertising on social media gets it. What is it? You're communicating with people that might want to buy from you. So you're literally telling them, sorry, I still have a bit of a runny nose. You're literally finding people that are theoretically right buyers and telling them that you have a solution to get them whatever they want. All right. How can someone start indie hacking? I don't know what indie hacking is. So if you're tuned in, clarify what that is in the comments. Okay, question here. Why do you like Udemy? I've always been curious about other traffic channels like Meetup and Locals. It depends on which city you're in. In Meetup down here, post-COVID, became a graveyard. Pre-COVID, it was really good. After COVID, not so much. Meetup was very, very, very good pre-COVID. Now it's literally a graveyard. For example, as you could probably guess by the giant paintbrush, and if you've ever seen my art area over there, I'll show it to you. Lots of notebooks, lots of painting, lots of watercolors. I really like art. I love art meetups. I love going to the different painting. Sorry. There we go. I love going to the different painting meetups they have. And they used to have a lot of them on Meetup, but okay. So I used to love going to those. I used to love Meetup to figure out where they were. And then after COVID, I went on there to try to find one, and there was nothing. There were no options. All right. Sorry, I'm starting to fidget with things. We've been doing this for an hour, so this is now I'm going to be fidgeting with different devices at my desk. Yes, I have like 30. Okay. Now, Udemy isn't a traffic source. Like it's not my favorite traffic source. I think my favorite traffic source would probably be Reddit or AppSumo. AppSumo, oh my God, if you have software, you have to get on AppSumo. The only thing is you have to keep in mind that a lot of people that use AppSumo, um, while Molo9, we're very, very, very intentional about creating a collaborative environment where people have fun. Uh, that is not what everyone on AppSumo is like. You do get some people on AppSumo that are angry, aggressive, verbally abusive. So the biggest thing I've heard from other people who also sold on AppSumo is that same thing. There were people that were very, very verbally abusive with their chat support team. There were people that were very aggressive and very angry. And that's why some people got off of AppSumo. We've found certain strategies that we use to deter that. But I do put that disclaimer out if you're going to be on AppSumo, is you have to be ready for that. If your mental health is not sound and having strangers on the internet scream nasty things at you would throw off your balance, then I would not recommend AppSumo. That's what I'm going to say about that. As some of you know, I don't like to talk about this a lot. In the startup space, there is a higher suicide rate than in other niches within the professional working world. So mental health is something that we do try to take account for when answering questions on here and recommending different traffic sources. Okay, I was thinking, the comment says, I was thinking that channels like Patreon, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, and Udemy pay a lot of money in their own ads. So I'm wondering how we could leverage that. What do you mean? Leverage that as in they're advertising the content. So realistically, what you would do is they want sales, right? Every business wants sales. Businesses need sales. Like a human needs to have blood in order to be alive. Businesses need money in order to be alive. That's their lifeblood. So with Udemy and Patreon, what you would do is you would aim to become one of their top content creators. So then when they're advertising that when they're advertising content, they're advertising your content and saying, hey, if you want the latest course by whoever, by E. Blaine, you have to hop on. You have to hop on Udemy to get it. It's available now. All right. Any other questions? We have 5 minutes left. Okay. Yes. Yes, that's very true. So Udemy is bringing a lot of traffic. So with your comment says they're bringing a lot of traffic. So with Udemy, it's really about getting those eyeballs off their platform and opting into my list or to buy something cheap from me. Exactly. And I mean, that's the game with every platform. You have the Facebook groups to try to get eyeballs off of Facebook. You have LinkedIn Lives. You're trying to get people to buy something off of here. I could tell you these live Q&A sessions that we're having fun with. I don't know if you knew this, but every time we do a live Q&A session, Molo9 gets at least 3 sales. Every time. I put the same exact live Q&A session on Facebook, 0 sales. I put the same exact live Q&A session on LinkedIn, I'll get 600 likes, 0 sales. They all come from YouTube. So you're, at the end of the day, with marketing, with customer acquisition, what you're looking at is which channel is going to give you the most eyeballs that buy, not just the most eyeballs that click like or click comment, but the ones that buy. Who's your hyperactive buyer? Who's going to have fun working with you, and you'll have fun working with them. Um, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it too. It's good to be back. Um, as some of you know, I used to hate these, but now they're getting better. We've, yeah, they're getting better. This is fun again. All right, we have 3 minutes left. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll go back to what you guys asked on Quora. Okay, so this one says, how emotional... okay, so English is not your first language, which is fine. But it says, how emotional and growth hack marketing concepts are productive to emerging startups, companies in multiplying profits or ROI within definite period of time. Okay, if you're in here and you could just clarify this question, that would be helpful. Otherwise, I'm going to try to guess what you're asking. Okay, so I think what you're asking... Okay, so I think what you're asking is, why are the marketing tactics that are emotional, growth oriented, why are they more productive at getting a startup to grow faster? And the answer is that marketing is emotions. Marketing is fully emotional. People buy based on emotion, and then they justify the purchase with logic later. This really dives into neurobiology, which is one of my favorite topics. But a good book to look at is this one. It is called The Molecule of More. It explains how key chemicals within the brain play a huge role in... It explains how chemicals within the brain play a huge role in getting people to buy. And so what you want to do is you want to surprise and you want to delight. Some people use the fear tactic to get people to buy, and some people use surprise and delight to get people to buy. I prefer the latter. When you use a fear tactic to get people to buy, it tends to make people more aggressive, which is not ideal for if you want a collaborative community. If you use surprise and delight, it tends to make people more collaborative, and they like spending time with your brand more over the long term, rather than just buying something and vanishing to use it. I don't know if that helps answer your question. The reason that growth hacking is used in startups is because startups need asymmetrical returns. So, for example, a larger corporation will say, okay, if I spend $100,000 on this ad campaign, I expect to see $400,000 in sales. They expect their marketing to cost 30%. So they expect a 3x return on their investment. So for every dollar they spend, they expect $3 to $4 back. Well, a startup might have $10,000, and they have to figure out how to make that $10,000 into $10 million. And that is where you need growth hacking, because you can't say, oh, I'm going to use this $10,000 to make $40,000. You need to say, I'm going to use this $10,000 to make $1 million. I'm going to use this $10,000 to make $100,000. You're in a race against the clock. You have to work with unconventional things that are a lot of Hail Marys. You take a lot of moonshots in a startup. But keep in mind that with a startup, you also don't have a brand that you need to protect. So you can take bigger risks with your marketing than someone who has a brand they need to protect, where they can't take huge risks that could alienate a portion of their population. Examples of this are, who did it? Budweiser? Was it Budweiser? There was a beer company. So many people were messaging me about it. There was a beer company. Their main buyer group is like the manly man farmer person who works, they have like they work all day in the sun, they come home, they take off their shoes, they open a can of this beer. And the company decided to work with somebody that was like New York City, metropolitan, the type of person that you would put front and center on a champagne ad was front and center on a Budweiser ad. And it was just like, oh my God. So you have to when you're choosing your ads for a new startup, you don't have a cult like following that identifies with a specific persona. So you could put this person out there and this person out there, and you could put 50 different people on your ads, and your user base is so small, they won't care too much, and they won't stop buying from you because you have 50 different ads. They'll just click on the ad they like that gets them to convert to a buyer. And then you look at the ads that converted and you say, wow, okay, our user base resonates with people that look like this. We should put more people that look like this in our ads. So that's why growth hacking, they can do things that a bigger brand can't, because a bigger brand has to protect that brand and the people who identify with that brand. Okay, let's see. We'll do one more question and then we're going to wrap it up because we actually are 3 minutes past. Okay. Which basic growth hacking strategies are required to turn limited or partner companies into billion-dollar startups? How do the tech giants and software companies' operative mechanisms apply and follow genuine strategic models? Oh yes, let's answer this in 2 minutes or less. Okay. This is something that would be like a full-on whiteboard session all on its own. Okay. That would be a whiteboard session all on its own. If making a company into $1 million business is something that takes us a few weeks, making something into $1 billion business is going to take a little bit more than a few weeks and definitely more than 2 minutes. Let's answer. I promised you guys one more answer, so we'll do this one. How can I find startups or business owners who need help with content video creation for their business? That's really easy. Go to Reddit. Go to Warrior Forum, go on Facebook to the different Facebook groups. Go to startup meetups. You could wear a t-shirt that says, I make awesome videos. And then on the back, it says, ask me how. There are a lot of different, very, very easy ways to do that. Okay. So I hope you guys found today helpful. We will resume full force with live Q&As next week. This one was a soft launch, which is why we gave you a very last minute notice that we would be doing it. We have a new employee that's helping with these and learning how to work with them. So that's why we had to do at least one soft launch to give him time to get his feet wet. Anyways, I hope, one more question. What is your opinion about Chamber of Commerce? That depends on the chamber. That completely depends on it depends on what your Chamber of Commerce is doing. It depends on how active it is. I've gone to some that are like totally dead. I've gone to other ones that are like cult-like following. They're throwing each other leads. They're like super into it. So it really depends on your neighborhood. What you could do is go to like the 5 that are closest to you. I know they say that you're only supposed to go to the one that's in the city that you live in, But you could say, "Oh, but I drink my coffee every Friday here," or something to justify why you're there so often. You should be at that chamber of commerce instead. Um, People like it when you joke. People like it when you joke around with them. People like to connect. They want to connect with people who make them feel good and laugh. So if you go to a different chamber of commerce in a different city and they give you a hard time, make a joke about it. Oh, but I come here every Saturday for my breakfast. Um, they'll laugh, they'll be disarmed, and then they'll let you stay there. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a good one. Bye.